Hey guys, DIY Maniac here. In today's video, I'm going to be going over the process of changing the battery on my 2013 Honda Civic with the 1.8 liter. So I'll give you a bit of a background. This past week has been extremely cold, record colds here in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. We have seen temperatures with wind chill as low as minus 40 Celsius. And for you guys from the US, minus 40 Celsius is the temperature when it becomes equal with Fahrenheit. So minus 40 Celsius equals minus 40 Fahrenheit. So as you can imagine, that is extremely cold. So before the winter even came, I said to myself, you know what? This car is going on 5 years old. It's got 100,000 kilometers. It's rocking the original battery. Let's change it out before the winter comes so we don't have to worry about it after. Well, I got lazy, didn't get around to it. I said, nah, never mind. I don't have time. We'll go another winter with this stock battery. And of course, with this cold weather, that put the real test to the battery. And this morning when I went out to start it, wouldn't start. So luckily I have some extra batteries here in the garage. I took my deep cycle from my trailer and I was able to use that to boost my car to get it started and at least get it into the garage. So I'm going to be going over the details of disconnecting, removing, and reinstalling a new battery in this Honda Civic. So I'm going to go ahead and prepare the tools and show you what you guys need to do this and the steps you need to take. So follow along. Okay guys, so the first step we're going to want to do is be able to get access to the cables and the terminals on the battery in order to disconnect them. Don't mind this wire. This is the wire for my fog light install that I did myself. So your chances are your car's not going to have that as this was a custom install. So I went ahead and just removed that. So it's already disconnected to avoid any confusion. So what we're going to need to concentrate on is the positive terminal and the negative terminal and how we're going to remove those. The first, to gain access to the positive, we have to open up this red cover. It snaps up. And that's going to give us access to this retaining nut here that we unscrew, and that loosens up the clamp onto the terminal and allows us to remove the cable. And on the negative side, we have it's a clamp over nut over here on the top side that we're going to loosen. That's going to allow us to remove the negative. So what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to take either a wrench. I suggest using a ratchet and socket. It's a 10 millimeter. That's going to allow us to get to this nut here for the negative. We're going to go counterclockwise. Always remember, lefty loosey. And we're going to go on this nut here, and we're going to go counterclockwise as well. And that's going to allow us to pull the terminals up. So this one I already loosened on the negative side. So once it's loosened, you're going to have to wiggle it a bit. It might be a little stiff, and you're going to take it, and it's going to come right off. And of course, as I'm trying to show you, it doesn't want to do it, but there you go. This one's off. And then you're going to do the same for the positive. You're going to loosen that nut to get it nice and loose, and you're going to pop off the positive cable from the battery terminal. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and show you what the next step is. So we can see here, positive cable removed from the battery terminal, negative cable removed from the negative terminal on the battery. So now our cables are disconnected. The next thing we need to do is be able to get the battery out. The way Honda has it on this car, it's a retaining bracket that spans across two threaded rods with nuts on it. So we got to be able to access those nuts. Once again, on my car, there's a relay I attached onto that threaded stud. You are not going to have this. This is part of my aftermarket fog light install. So disregard, you're not going to see this relay here that I have installed onto that threaded rod. But the principle is going to be the same to gain access to the nut that holds everything down. You're going to grab the cable. Here's a little plastic cap. That's not screwed on. It's just with pressure it's held on. You're just going to pull it up. And as you can see, that gains you access to the threaded rod with that nut. And then it's going to be the same thing on this side. For the positive cable, it has that same principle. You're just going to grab it and you're going to pull up and slide it off. Of course, as I want to show you, it doesn't want to work. Let's see if I could get this. Okay, I'm going to have to put the camera down because I can't do it with one hand, so I'll come right back. Okay guys, I'm back. Sorry about that. I hate to cut the camera out to be able to do stuff because I want to show you, but I just needed two hands to pull that off. So as you can see, it came right off. It just needed some coaxing with 2 hands, pull upwards, and it comes off. And now we've exposed our threaded rod with our nut. Nut size is the same size that we use for our battery terminals. So we're looking at our 10 millimeter. So Honda kept it simple for us. So you're going to slide your socket over those 10 millimeter nuts that are on those threaded rods. You're going to loosen them and remove them completely. So you want to get those nuts off all the way completely, and this will allow you to remove this retaining bridge that comes over the battery. So I'm going to go ahead and remove these nuts completely, and I'm going to remove this, and we're going to come back. Guys, don't be concerned if those threaded rods come out, because they're not permanently fixed to the battery tray. They just basically swivel and lock in to hold the battery down. So actually I prefer taking them out completely when I need to remove the battery, as it gives me a little more clearance and they don't fall and possibly drop in the engine bay. So don't worry about it. You just give them a half turn, they come out completely. You could clean them up, clean up the threads. And to put them back, it's very simple. As you'll see, I'll show it to you now in case you're concerned. You can kind of see how they work here. They come down and they turn in and they lock into the hole like that, as you can see. So don't be concerned. That's like I said, I prefer taking them out. Basically, just when you have that bridge part off, you could just now remove those threaded rods, give you more clearance. You don't have the risk of them falling down and losing them. So that's just wanted to touch upon that point with you guys. So I have the retainer taken off, the threaded rods removed, the battery cables are disconnected. So the next step is, I guess the most simplest step, is just lifting the battery straight out. Get yourself some gloves, it's going to be dirty. And you're going to lift that battery straight out, and then we'll be ready to put the new battery in its place. So the battery is out. We could see the empty tray there. So that's the metal base for the battery tray. Inside that goes a plastic base that works as a support for the bottom of the battery. It sits into it, so that goes down in. It doesn't attach down or anything, it just sits down into that metal tray. And your battery goes into there, and then you have this plastic cover that then slides over your battery, and then everything gets clamped down with that clamp. So I got the new battery. So it was quite an ordeal to get a battery. Yesterday the dealerships were closed, so I said I'll just go to my local auto parts stores. Sold out, no batteries anywhere. With the cold weather, everyone's been buying batteries. So this morning I went out to Honda and got myself a genuine replacement, and I got the more performance battery. So here's the part number here for you guys interested. And it's a 500 cold cranking amps, whereas the one in the car was a 450 cold cranking amp. So it's a little bit more of a performance battery. And as well, it has a much longer guarantee than the original. The original is only a 3-year warranty, prorated, and this one is a 60 month, 5-year. Cost of the battery, tax in with the core, meaning you got to bring back your old battery. If you don't, they charge you $20 more. So I brought them the old battery with tax, was $198 Canadian. So a little more expensive than you're going to pay your auto parts store, but you're getting a genuine battery with a good guarantee. So that's the way I went. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get the battery into the car. So the battery is in, the new battery, but I wanted to show you this to you guys in case you're worried about this. Your presets, your Bluetooth, all your different stuff when disconnecting the battery is not lost. The only thing that you have to reset is the clock, but as you can see, my Bluetooth connected, no issue. My tripometers are still where they were. The same as the maintenance. If we go to the maintenance information for the vehicle, the oil change percentage is still where it is. None of that got reset. The only thing you have to do when you get back in and with the new battery installed, you're going to push the power for the radio, and it's going to tell you push and hold power for more than 2 seconds. So you're going to hold it for more than 2 seconds. You hear the beep, radio comes on. The only thing you need to do is reset your clock. So here we can see the new battery installed. So just to go over the steps, you're going to put that plastic base down first into the metal tray. You're then going to put your battery into place. You're then going to take that plastic surround that you saw earlier. That's going to slide over the battery. You're then going to take your threaded rods that we had talked about earlier, as you can see them down there, hook them into the holes on either side of those metal trays. You're then going to put this metal bridge section that spans the battery through the threaded rod, the nuts on the threaded rod to hold that down, and then these little caps that hold the wire looms for the negative and the positive terminal. Then you're going to secure your negative terminal and your positive terminal, and you're done. So that's just a quick little video on how to change a battery in a 2013 Civic, applicable for all 9 generations, 1.8, 2.4. I'm sure the steps are pretty much the same between the different engines. You know, and also an eye-opener for me. I knew better going into this winter with our Canadian winters. A 5-year-old battery needs to be changed, regardless if it's giving you issues now, because it is going to give you issues when it gets minus 40. But I got lazy, I didn't change it, and now I was a little rushed. But luckily I'm on vacation, I didn't have to run to work this week. If I did, it might have been a different story. So the rule of thumb is, you know, preventive maintenance is so important, and make sure you do it. So that's the video, guys. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below like always, and we'll see you on the next video.